Listen, Jenna, exactly right. Remember the famous Michael Jordan quote, "The ceiling is the roof"? If either of my colleagues argue Draymond Green should be happy or played a good game, then the bar is the floor. If we are now to the level where Draymond Green can play halfway decent for one half of basketball, and then in the second half have 0 points, 4 fouls, and a total on-court temper tantrum that forces Steve Kerr to use a challenge and a timeout because Draymond might literally fight him as he almost did 6 years ago, and then lose the challenge, lose the timeout, and see Draymond foul out for the third time this series, marking another guy from that great 90s era of basketball, Dale Davis, the last one to do that. I remember the Davis brothers. Oh, man, can you believe Jordan got through those Pacers teams? They had not one, but two Davises, Antonio and Dale. Oh, my God, how could you have done it? And they had a giant Dutch dude. Neither here nor there. If either one of you guys are going to argue that Mr. Triple Single, having another triple single while fouling out, should be happy about this, then God knows that when he comes up for the Hall of Fame, you won't be voting for him because he's now to a point in what should still be the prime of his career where it's like, wow, Draymond, 8 points? Good job, buddy.
Okay.
Great. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it.
I get it, Nick. I get it. You're in a bad spot. All right, you flip-flop. You should have stuck with the Warriors. Now you're upset.
I don't know.
You turned the first segment into a tribute to LeBron James. Now you're destroying Draymond Green. Look, here's the deal. He should be pleased. Number one, they won. They're one victory away from the finals. They won. He should be happy with that.
The question is his performance.
They won. Number two, yes, he should be happy. He played fine. Was he Kevin Durant? No. Was he vintage Draymond Green? No. But he was fine. 8-6 is what he's done this whole season. That's what he's done. All right, and look at the passes he made. He was critical to them taking the lead in the first half. Starts the game with that. That is a great pass. If you don't think that's a great pass, I don't know what to tell you. All right, and then this right here, same thing. In transition, third quarter, Gary Trent. I could go on a number of, like 2 other of his assists, which were outstanding passes.
What are we short on footage?
And then defensively, he held the Celtics when he was the primary defender, according to ESPN, to 1 of 10 shooting. 1 of 10. Jaylen Brown, you wonder, where was Jaylen Brown? We ripping Jason Tatum. Where was Jaylen Brown? Well, when Draymond was guarding him, he was 1 for 6. So it's not, Draymond's never been measured by numbers. You can keep throwing out the triple single and all that. He had an impact on that game defensively, playmaking wise, and his energy was critical. Draymond Green should absolutely be fine with what he did last night. He can get better, but he played a very good game. I'm sorry, I don't know what you looking at. I'm sorry.
What's happening with
Wild weird things about TV and these earpieces is it's kind of gross, but sometimes some earwax gets in here and it clogs the canal and you can't hear. So I was checking if that happened to me because I haven't heard anyone say, Wilds, you were right. So I think it's an earpiece issue, Nick. You laughed at me yesterday when I said, you know what Steve Kerr should do? Run an action for Draymond. It happened. Get Draymond a dunk. It happened. Get Draymond a 3. It happened. Didn't go in, but they were running plays because Steve Kerr understands the emotional health of the players on the court too. It's like, man, you're down. Your confidence is a little low. I got to boost you up. Played well. That was a good game from Draymond that the Celtics now had to. Celtics had to worry about him a little bit. They were worrying about him 0.
A little bit.
I disagree that it worked. Listen, the idea that got Draymond going, 0 is the number of shots he took in the second half. 0 is the number of points he scored in the second half. And I understand that he is not a guy that is measured purely by the box score. And I thought he was good defensively.
Because you keep bringing up stats. That's all you keep bringing up are stats. Do you understand that?
Brew, I do understand that. I also think that Draymond Green is a future Hall of Famer who called himself the greatest defensive player ever. And we are treating him like a charity case. And they were like, hey, you didn't airball any layups this game. You think that Draymond Green thinks he played really well? You think Draymond, again, this is where yesterday.
Really well. I said okay, they won the game and he played well. That's what he should be, and he should be pleased with that.
Okay, listen. Jenna, I'm a hater, along with it's just me and Draymond's own mother who thinks he's been terrible these finals, and yesterday wasn't much better. It's just us.
Well, he has in
just
the
finals. Two biased folks.
Take a look at the latest odds provided by Fox Bet Sportsbook. Wiggins now ranked 1, 2, 3. Yep, I just wanted to make sure. Third behind Steph and Tatum. Broussard, is there any chance Wiggins can steal Finals MVP from Steph?
All right, let me say this. Right now, Steph Curry's MVP. I don't care. Like Wild said, last night he didn't have a huge game, but he wasn't terrible. Nice passes, 8 assists, and drew attention from the defense. He's still a big factor out there. Who knows what could happen over these next 2 games? If Steph continues to not play as he did in the first 4 games and struggles to some people's view, and Wiggins is phenomenal and it goes 7 and they win, I mean, I guess that's possible. But realistically speaking, no. This is Steph Curry's Finals MVP. And Nick, I feel this way. I think much of the media understands he should have been the MVP in 2015. And then secondly, they feel bad that the fact that he doesn't have a Finals MVP has been hanging over his head like an albatross. So even if it's close, even if it's a tie, even if Wiggins slightly got better as these last 2 games go on, I think lifetime achievement, they're voting for Steph. So I think Steph deserves it, number one, the way things have gone so far, but I think he's going to win it anyway for those reasons I mentioned. And he should.
Look, I think if it were close, you're right, but it is not close. And I can we show those odds again? Because I don't want to be pedantic, but I think sometimes we mislead the audience unintentionally because people don't understand math and gambling. What those odds mean is a $100 bet on Steph Curry would net you $25, and a $100 bet on Andrew Wiggins would net you $1,600. So in other words, Andrew Wiggins or Steph Curry is, according to those numbers, 64 times more likely to win Finals MVP than Andrew Wiggins. So no, I don't think there's any chance, and neither do the odds. They just have to list somebody at third, so Wiggins is the guy. Like, this is not a thing that actually can happen.
Fairly.
Even with the bad game last night, Steph is averaging 31 in this series. He's leading the Warriors in assists. This is not a close, it's not like, oh boy, some people would argue there is not a human being alive who right now would say anyone other than Steph Curry has been the best player for the Warriors. There's not one person.
Well,
Question for you there, Will
there
Hunting.
It's not me,
what are
but
the
there
chances
is somebody.
that your old clip of Andrew Wiggins saying that it's just a salary dump and trade bait goes viral this morning? What are the chances of that? Have you run the numbers on that one, Nick?
It already went viral last night. It went viral overseas.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.